the weekend. For can help we talk about that, we get Ibrahim Kamara, Head of Media and Marketing at the Saloon Football Association. Good morning and welcome to the program. Good morning, Saloon.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, this starts with the chairman for the Saloon Premier League Board. As people can remember, the 2019-2020 league season we don't start inside December 4, and we don't get plenty games them we don't they play. But how the league don't they go? I get the chairman now the program Aliyu Van de Kroma. As Mr. Kromadom rightly mentioned to listeners, he therefore talk about the 2019-2020 Premier League. We don't start on December 4. We say we don't get plenty games and we don't play. But this is not the first time we don't get you in the studio as the Premier League board chairman for can talk about the activities them. Before we go to the league, Udana Aliyu Van de Kroma Pan Football.
Aliyu Van de Kroma, well, firstly as a character, a very shy, quiet, unassuming, modest somebody, and inconspicuous also. So most times, I know get plenty of people who actually don't meet with me in terms of like the football stuff. But my engagement with football dates as far back as my days in school. That was in mid-90s at the Bow School. Well, again, perhaps some of the downside of having nicknames, because plenty of people say Aliyu Van de Kroma and I don't really get used to that name. So I went by the nickname of SP. And SP actually, I was senior prefect in my primary school. So when I went to secondary school, I just transferred and stuff, because then at the Bow School, we were going through several drills. And so we would go through the drills, and then some people say, this young man who had the drills, so I was senior prefect in school. So then I got the name, this SP stuff. So at the Bow School, and I was really known for football anyway, aside of what I think I was doing, but football was the main stuff. I played, and then we began, for those who went to the Bow School, and also we the Playtown Leagues. We had 4 towns in the Bow School, and we the Playtown Leagues. We began Division 1, Division 2, so I played in both division, and also in both towns I played in the major leagues, non-division leagues then, you understand, up to the time I wrote the O-levels, and that was in 97, 98, and I came to Freetown. Fravic College. In Fravic College, beaten at Bibre Hall, and I played football all throughout my period at Fravic College. I even turned games captain at Bibre. I remember one match where we played against Solomon Coca, and I scored the winning goal. But interestingly, because when I went to Fravic College, I will say I was a bit lucky, because I had a room at Block C, C147, I mean, my first room then at Fravic College. Then I was in a preliminary year. So, but I will spend most of the time, at Fravic you get blocks 33, 34, and 35, so now you get like people who can at the prelim, they did. So now they peers and be there, so now they keep coming more. Then I wisdom 3. So I get this friend who, until very recently, was editor of Concord Times, now practicing barrister, Wakar Sharif. He was at block 33. If actually, really in a football, I'm bringing we together. Most people not even know. Perhaps I'm going to reveal this morning. Really, football, when we do analysis and stuff like this. So we'll go play and have luck. Then I scored the winning goal against Solomon Coca. So people thought me I'd be Gorilla. Gorilla, I don't know if the register don't change down at Fravic College. Then when they say Gorilla, and I be an illegal occupant. So they feel so, because they see me constantly at block 33. So I remember who come out have luck, they say, oh no, Espino is sleepy at today. Let him go to Bible and stuff like that. So Sharif got for tell, say, no, in fact, with that man they get room in block, say just can't keep coming on Monaya. So throughout that period, really, I go say with all modesty, say, if you had Fravic then 10 and they talk football, because this will really not be common. In fact, it was a luxury for us. So now when you say football,
with all this you experience where you say you get my football business since you days na secondary school till you can university, and now look at your role as the new chairman for the Premier League. The end of the last season of the Premier League, many football loving fans them believe say the football business don't revive back na Saloon, and now you don't come as the new chairman of the Premier League board. Wetin you can wait for help improve on the Premier League, where many people believe say the last season will be a success?
Yeah, I appreciate the question you asked, which say what I can wait for improve, and that is really key, because I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. There's always a process, and we just build on that process there. So first, what we did as a board, we sat together and like we review what in the past board do and try for see. Pick the good things so we think say they did, and we just try for maintain the good things. And then, well, in life you can't always be that good. So the things they didn't do too well, we review and try for see how we can make them better.
Waiting, I didn't see how they not do too well.
Perhaps let's just complete as to the things that we waiting safe and stuff. Then, one, with regards manning the stadium, we find out say and a lot of people be they going to the stadium, you understand, even like people we know the stadium get divisions, for example, as to zone A, we say you see the coaches then the day, and you see few journalists and all that stuff. And because I followed the league also last year, and they watched most of the games, them, particularly in Freetown. So I find out, say, like, I mean, the crowd, you understand, crowd be so much that, you understand, well, perhaps just by looking at the crowd, I've been able to go above the stadium capacity. And so that's one thing we say, okay, no matter how well the league is organized, if you get crowd trouble, then they just smear everything when I don't do. So the first thing you need for really organize the league in such a way that people can go to the stadium and left the stadium without any issues. So what we've done is we've introduced marshals, as a best practice. We will already follow the European games, particularly the English Premier League. You see marshals. Some people can ask, but then they even watch the game, then just to watch the people. You understand? And we get this meeting with the SLP, and we don't tell themselves. Best practice, of course, we get Freeman, where Mr. Freeman, the head of safety and security in the SLFA, is attended several programs and say, this is what is happening now in football. So the police, they are stationed outside of the stadium, the perimeter fence. So inside, the marshals tell the guys, I will not make them very mandatory with the clubs and say, look, every match day we wanna get, you need to have marshals where they get them people, and so just for avoid even the crowd, riots that can take place, people can take water bottles they send at the field and all that stuff. I remember meeting with the president, and he said that we all know it's happened a few weeks ago, Lesotho, as a result of what happened during the Liberia match. So therefore, say most people never go to the stadium. They say, the place rowdy, the place, people need to behave themselves and stuff. So that's one thing, and they will say, yes, the past board. I mean, I'm not here to actually run an analysis of the past board, but just to respond to the question where you say what we think. Say, well, perhaps them back they were under pressure. And all that stuff, and they wanted to get into the stadium to watch matches and all that stuff. So we don't say no matter what. In fact, we get a cut-off line where we're not printing more than 25,000 tickets, by the way, because now that's the one time we say, I mean, ONS and all the other parties were involved in managing the situation when it comes to crowd trouble. They say that's the capacity of the stadium.
So apart from crowd control and the security measures, then when you say we take up on our being sit down and try for review with other board member them, waiting again you think say the previous member them not been do actually right where you they plan for review?
Well, not to actually right, because so it's actually right. It's like a complete write-off. I mean, things they did, but they didn't do too well. It's different from where they not do well. I mean, when they not do well at all. And that's the other thing they do is, one, we don't have for get the website. As I talk now, it will be up latest this weekend. We don't slow a little bit because with the struggle, according to the web developer, they tell me say he was struggling with domain name because the initial name will get, I think when he go for go whatever, he knows better, go register whatever, they say, oh, that had been registered by some other person. Because we come to the realization, say football is business, and just like we Musa introduced IBK as the head of media marketing, not only media but marketing. So you have to market the game actually. So not only our play, like who play, we always say yes, the league was successful, fairly successful, you understand. But outside the jurisdiction, you understand, these people get the opportunity to actually know what we did, you understand. And how do you get to know that? Not just by the click of the button. So everything you do should be uploaded on the website. So we as a board, we don't say, okay, we're going to do a website, not only reporting the activities of the Premier League, but also with the profile of clubs. I mean, this way they do in collaboration with the clubs. So, say for example, Team Eastern Lions, without prejudice to other clubs, you put Eastern Lions, then get them Team 4-2. Plenty of journalists that don't meet me say they're struggling, even for reach, Team 4-2, like when the league be the start, the league be low, waiting teams that don't do the players that don't sign and all that stuff, then they see them. So now you get a team like Eastern Lions, they say this now we like then gets this the entire 30-man squad, for example, with the technical staff for the register and everything is on there. Even like if you would tell with them fixtures, I mean, not only them fixtures, but even the lineups before matches, you understand. Like if you will upload videos about the games and profile individual players, because people and they fire away and they will go and say, oh, but this player, this in profile, you understand, he bagged this number of goals in the last league and, you understand, he's doing this. Perhaps it's worthy for me to come watch, you understand. So those are the kind of things we actually foresee. We see in the last league, yes, they started off, but like we just want to build on some of them things and we then do.
Okay, thank you very much, Ali Van Kurma, Chairman Saloon Premier League Board. We will come back to you, make it tell we more about the league where they go on now. And as I rightly mentioned, we seem we should get Ibrahim Kamara, Head of Media Marketing for the Saloon Football Association. We therefore talk about the SLFA Ordinary Congress we end Naput Loco over the weekend. Ibrahim Kamara, before we talk anything, we look at the team for the Congress. We have been fix the problem, not the matches. If I can take you to that back. Has the problem been solved?
We're on it. I cannot say the problem don't be solved 100%, but waiting happen at Putloko, was a success, and I think now be a step in the right direction in terms of solving the problem of Sierra Leone football. Of course, you were there, and you see exactly what's going to be the outcome of that Congress Day.
So, let we look at some of the key decisions or resolutions we members then reach for listeners we wanna reach during the Congress.
Yes, I mean, a lot of issues actually been come up, and as usual in congresses like that, when issues come up, you get some delegates who they in favor, some others who they against, deliberations can actually erupt, arguments and things like that, until normally, as it can use for be, they arrive at a situation where somebody go move a motion, and then they ask that whether they in favor, let them vote, in favor, whether they're against, let them also show so then they're against, and then eventually majority can always can carry the vote, and obviously the decision can stand. And one key decision are basically the adoption of the new district, obviously Northwest.
Mr. Kamara, before we can look at the resolution them and some of the decision them, we would they come to the resolution them won't be end up take. You make mention of some of the issues them we be done they won't be able for iron out. For the one they will not be doing at this Congress to be upon a potluck, you can just take we through some of the issues them will be arise and how the SLFA body be able for talk on the issues there and reach to an agreement.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do basically. This what I try to explain. So now, just one of the issues them, the issue about bringing in the new districts. Of course, the Northwest region, you get Karene, you get Falaba districts, for bringing them into because they're not being on the world in a new district, they will basically just be added to the geographical arrangement of Sierra Leone. So yes, then they being settled because first of all, unanimously delegates and they agree say let these districts be brought into the football family, let them become members of the Sierra Leone Football Association. But then also the disagreement to be there now for that one as to whether them bring the candidate for get automatic voting rights ahead of the elections, or then for wait after the elections before they get voting right now. That was where the argument erupted, because some members be think say okay, they don't become members, but let them wait for we force after these April elections, then they will get voting right now. Some others say no. And the statute, Article 11, clearly say anybody who don't become a member automatically forget a voting right. So that was a tussle. So they arrive at a position of voting, with a majority of the delegates being voted in favor of the fact that, once they don't be added, they forget a voting right. That was how that particular issue they've been settled. And another thing also been come up now the financial report basically after the auditors have don't read the financial report, then we reach a stage for adopt the financial report. Some others be they say no, it shouldn't be adopted, and some others be they say no, the financial report should be adopted. That was also voted for, and then most of the delegates vote in favor of the fact that the financial report is well and good, as the auditors, they don't read them, and therefore it should be voted for. So that was how the issues and they go, really.
But before the issues are solved, or before we arrive at this conclusion, Congress not hold for the past 5 to 6 years. How the issue has not unbug the SLF in operation?
Well, I don't want for greasy Congress not hold. Congress be done the hold.
2015, it was aborted.
That was, yes, but I mean, it was held. The fact
but
that
it not end.
No, yeah, that's what. But it was held. There was a Congress.
If it not end, Ibrahim. If it not end, how you go arrive at conclusion and solve the issues? Like
there was a Congress, but it was aborted. It not be end. But that does not mean the Congress was not held. You understand? Because if you can't say now outrightly there was no Congress, as if the executive committee not even take a move for whole of Congress. There was another Congress at Atlantic Hall.
Well, look, we say
Congress is successful Congress. Now this now we will say this was actually the successful Congress.
Well, all right. Okay,
you understand? So there were Congresses really, but this was, a very successful Congress. That is because I think this time around, the delegates them actually decide for puts the country first. The delegates them actually, decide for say we're tired of this fighting. You understand? Because clearly the FIFA roadmap say, and I've been coming here and I've been saying this, the FIFA roadmap say we'll go to 3 Congresses. All of these issues we're supposed to be done with this lolonte. If we don't accept, so inside Potloko for follow the FIFA roadmap, go to Congress 1, 2, and the third one, elective Congress. Right. The delegates then, now when you arrive at that stage, we're not going to vote to the one I want. It's as simple as that. So now we've gone to the first Congress, very successful. And one thing will come out clearly, and I have to mention this, will come out clearly in that Congress. You understand? The fact that all waiting, a lot of people be done, they go and say, or make things look like the delegates are actually they against this present executive. It's not really true. So you understand? That was shown, when waiting the executive committee put forward, majority of the delegates them stood up in favor of that.
All right, Ibrahim,
you understand? So now we look forward to the next Congress, which is next year.
Will they come back to you and as I rightly ask you, where answer it? Wouldn't be done the Hamburg now the SLFA with who will not be the successful Congress who will not done solve now put local. Okay. The program na Good Morning Salon. Will they come after a break? So we can't join it back after. We can't join it back after the break.
Okay. All right.
Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app, you can able for use Salon Link money transfer for send money to anybody elect you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office elect you not get the account number. Buy Ed-Salite, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for the boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all you supplier them, sell forex to Salon Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
We continue with the program Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. The time from studio clock now 2 minutes past the hour 8 o'clock, and today in the program we get the head of marketing and media from the Salon Football Association. We'll look at the outcome of the ordinary congress which is done at Potloko over the weekend, and also lawyer Aliyu Vandi Koma, the chairman for the Salon Premier League board. As the Premier League we don't begin from December 4th this year, you go know, but waiting they happen inside the Premier League.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue with a look at more issue inside the program. And now we take one of the headline. The Somali Police Commissioner Abdul Hassan Mohammed say the Salon police officer them way they na Somalia don't make the country don't they enjoy peace for the past 3 years now. I talk this way the Salon police take some journalists them for go waka na Somalia for see how the Salon peacekeeping force they do they. Mange Masarina, one of the journalists them we been there inside Somalia and put this report together.
Somalia, na country where don dey fight war for the past 29 years. Usai plenty people don lost their life and property them. This make 3 United Nations mission go na Somalia as peacekeeper, but they not been able to succeed. 2007, AMISOM begin the peace mission na Somalia, we say them don't make plenty progress, but no the progress where AMISOM don't make na Somalia, make journalists them from Sierra Leone and Zambia go na Somalia for get first-hand information but the progress where AMISOM don't make na Somalia. The chief of staff for the police components na Somalia, when a Nigerian, Resh Dundu, begin for talk about how AMISOM starts their mission na Somalia.
Before came here, Somalia was in turmoil. This was a no-go area. The whole world had written off Somalia. It was what you call a banana republic. Total breakdown of law and order. Chaos. The Indian Ocean was a place that was dreaded. And this route is very, very important in terms of taking goods and services to other parts of Africa. Somalia was a banana republic. AMISOM came in 2007. When they were coming, people were very skeptical that nothing was going to happen. Thank God the Ugandans took that challenge. They were the first to deploy. And I will tell you, it was not easy. Gradually, they started gradually. Where we are seated here used to be a battlefront. This area used to be a battlefront. The first plane that brought the Ugandan contingent was shot down, but due to the expertise of the pilot, he was able to land and the soldiers came down fighting.
Rex Dundu continues say, Somalia na country where not be in the maintain law and order, but with the work where AMISOM don't they do na Somalia, make the Somalis them don't begin observe law and order and they enjoy the peace.
Total breakdown of law and order. 2011 when I came here, there is no, even up to date, go to town, there's no building in Somalia that you will not see the relics of war. There's no family in Somalia that was not affected. It is that bad. You are saying, how do you assess AMISOM? Think back to how AMISOM started. 2009, when we started training the Somalis, most of them could not even make entries. There was nothing like police structure, everything abandoned. We started gradually with training. By the time we came to Mogadishu, we started going to police stations. It was not easy. Initially, these are people that were born into conflict. They don't understand when you say policing, but gradually, with training and mentoring at police stations, things are now taking shape. Somalis are now investigating cases. They now know policies. They are now talking of how to dress properly. They are now talking of conduct and discipline. They know human rights now.
AIG Augustine Magnus Kiley, now the first Sierra Leone police commissioner for the police component na the AMISOM mission na Somalia, talk about the work where the police components don't they do na Somalia for where them begin them peacekeeping 2009.
It mandates us to provide institutional capacity building and development to the Somali police forces, individual human capacity building and development to the Somali police personnel, operational support to the Somali police forces to maintain law and order and ensure public safety and reassurance. That is our mandated role, AMISOM. We do this through training, mentoring, advising, capacity building, that is institutional and individual, through reform and restructuring. There are all three components. You have the civilian component of AMISOM, you have the police component, then you have the military component. You have the form police units and the IPOs. IPOs mentoring, whilst the FPOs provide security.
His Excellency Ambassador Francisco Catanio Jose Madira, the special representative of the chairperson of the African Union Commission, SRCC, for Somalia and head of mission, say AMISOM don't take over 80% na Somalia and then don't get police presence na different side them where they don't hold.
We have registered military victories in the African Union-led efforts to liberate Somalia from the stronghold of terrorist groups. You know that Al-Shabaab, ISIS, Somalia, and other armed groups are operating here in this country. We are fighting them all. So I definitely want, on behalf of AMISOM, salute the government of the Republic of Sierra Leone and that of Zambia, as well as men and women officers from both Sierra Leone and Zambia police services for their, first of all, accepting to deploy officers here and for the dedicated services that these officers, men and women, are providing in support of African Union objectives of helping Somalia to recover
HE Ambassador Francisco Catano Jose Madiria continues say next year Somalia they get presidential and parliamentary election. We make it say then they work stronger one for make them able to conduct the election.
Know that next year by October have parliamentary and presidential elections starting October and February, and the police is required to support this process in terms of security, in terms of ensuring that ballot boxes, voting materials are taken to where they are needed safely and protected, and the policing activity are carried out. So their work and their activity and their involvement will be needed to ensure security before, during, and after these landmark elections that are going to start in October next year. So,
Major General Abdul Hassan Mohammed, now the police commissioner na Somalia, say the country don't dey fight civil war for long term now. We make it say na small crime them where they happen na other country, they happen now na Somalia.
We are coming from a civil war, and we have done a lot of things improving. Mogadishu, if you have been 3 years ago in Mogadishu, it wasn't like this. But now it's improving, and the standard we are right now, the crimes that we have right now, the normal crimes that happen in every capital country. If you go to Nairobi, if you go to Addis, if you go to Saka, if you go to, it is the normal. We don't have much more. With the help of Somali National Armed Forces, we liberated a couple of areas, the lower Shabelle, and we are following. We don't have much confrontation there with Al-Shabaab, but they are hit and run. We don't have a conventional war that they are strong in front of us. So we are improving.
General Abdul Hassan Mohammed end up call on tourism for go na Somalia as he say, Somalia na country where they enjoy peace, and I should say then go protect people them where they go na Somalia. For Radio Democracy, Mange Mansari, the report.
We continue with the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. We will bring the program come to you this Thursday morning. Mina Khadija Bangora.
And Musa Eskamara.
We still get lawyer Aliu Vandi Koma at the studio. We're the chairman for the Salon Premier. We're the chairman for the Sierra Leone Premier League Board. As we all know, the Premier League they could carry on now at the National Stadium. Also, a different team they play for fend the champion during the Premier League. Well, there this morning for tell we about how the board don't prepare for ensure say this year Premier League come out successful one. And I come back to you, Chairman. Earlier you be they talk about some of the things them where you remember them now the board don't able for review for ensure say on our promote football business all over the country. Now this year Premier League, just take we through almost team them they play this league.
This league now 14 teams they play, and it's going to be played on a round robin basis. So put together we got 182 matches where they play across the country in 3 regions. Western area gets 11 teams, Bo gets 1, Kenema gets 1, and Kono gets 1. Of the 11 teams in the Western area, 10 they play their home matches at the National Stadium, and we just get 1 where they play and the approved school at this part of Freetown. Bo they play the home matches na Bo, Kenema na Kenema, and Mikambu goes na Kenema, and Diamond Stars go play their home matches na Kono. So we got 14 teams, as I say, not participating in this year's Premier League.
So, we look at the last league, we see no team no relegates and one no promotes. We get for see relegation and promotion at this league.
Yes. I mean, well, coming to distinguish between what happened last and this is not one of the things. Panoramic, plenty of people don't say this time it really get for be like nail biting, because you know when you struggle, I mean when you fight for be retained at the Premier League. So because we get 2 teams we get for relegate, and not only 2 teams they relegate, but also we get 2 teams we get for represent the country at the CAF organized competition. So that's how it's gonna be.
Earlier you talk about the steward them we don't introduce for safer security. You talk about the website where we can look at how we operate, but couple very much important for the teams there. So and in my one interview with you say we wanna provide for them some money. For listeners them, how much wanna provide each team and how wanna get the money?
Yeah, well, just one of the biggest, or arguably the biggest challenges we don't get so far now in terms of financing the league, having something to take us throughout the competition. So we sat together as a board and we came up with a budget, and we approached the ministry as usual, and we began for the president and put him before him, because he's somebody who is very passionate about football and he's always committed himself to supporting the game. And even that he do reach, he reiterates in government's commitment for support the league. We are still waiting. However, because of the pressure we get from teams, and not only from teams but from supporters, from the day I was appointed chairman, calls started coming in. Oh, chairman, when would they start? When would they start? When would they start? We want play, we want play, we want play. Then I said, you know what? We can't afford to disappoint the people of football-loving fans of this country. So when the extra mile, we approach a bank and say, can you get us an overdraft just so that we start this league? You understand? Let us see, because this league is time bound. Just like when you ask me as to whether I'll go for see relegation, we'll go for see promotion, we'll go for see teams that represent. Yes. So that's the kind of thing. So other leagues are playing across the continent. So no longer for wait for we. So by June, we've done this league and send representatives to CAF. So that's the kind of thing. So you can't start a league and just can't play now. Then whatever the outcome of the league, then nobody represents the country. So we watch and say, no, if we don't start it now, then we'll get issues later. So that's what we did, and we'll get the money, luckily, and the SLFA back. I am very thankful to them, and we will commit like £500 million to the start of the league, and we'll be able to give each team 75 million leons, just so that they start, because we all know how financially vulnerable our teams are, and when it comes to actually running, because now some of the things that the meetings where they get with the clubs, would they tell them, say, no, we can't continue along this path. Teams have to be organized, well organized, you understand? And really, we want football team as it's been done in other jurisdictions. So that's the kind of thing. But we started them with 75 million leons and just say, let us see. And we're hoping upon hope, say, other people, institutions will come in with goodwill and help support the league. So that's how far we're going.
Continue for the program. Mr. Koma, will they come back to you? But quickly, let me take this short commercial break.
Better don't come. A Union Trust Bank again. Union Salon Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get what you want to go better. Let me savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, that's a loan for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme, ide. We branch and they all love but not alone. Boko no kenema, we ide. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we ide. Jala Freetown loan sa, we ide. And my 91, me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank, that's a loan for me and you. Union Salon Banco, Union Trust Banco.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
The program you listen to now, Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from 98.1 FM. Before we go for that break, we've been getting the chairman for the Premier League board, Aliyu Van de Kurma, been they talk about the couple we they use for fund the team here for CCD Premier League start. Before the funding will be done sending any proposal to government. Which kind of proposal are most soon sent to government?
Yeah, we did a proposal as a board and we sent them to the government, and we requested 8 billion loans for a number of reasons. And most times journalists can say the devil is in the details, so when they call the money, most times people say, wow, too huge a sum. But this is it. One thing we intend for not for actually put the clubs at the center of everything what they do. By that I mean, if you go through the budgets where we do, over 50% of the money directly they go to the clubs. Because again, the engagements what they get with the clubs is just like I said a few moments ago. We really know in that situation that we are in, we'll be going all over the place, capping hand begging, you understand? Clubs should be able to run themselves. You understand? That's how it is done in all other places where football they play. So we just want to say, okay, can we put down a marker? Can we just give you, like what they say, capital for start of business, you understand? Say with this now, you understand? We can just draw the curtain down and say, I mean, whatever other thing come now, it will not be like so much of mandatory thing, like say, oh no, if we're not good, we need to play, you understand? Because now the board will be absolved of saying, no, but we don't go or something. So it's left with you how you manage, you understand? How you will get people for come in and actually able do your stuff. So that's the kind of thing. Then again, a couple of innovations then the way we try for, modest innovations, I must say, we'll try for introduce. Based on the budget, really we'll get that budget. So one of the things them like say really we really want to do biometric registration for a number of reasons. You know, firstly, one tap into the goodwill government they show in terms of technology and innovation, and say these are things we can actually do. Because if you watch when you go on the SLFA secretariat, the first thing I noticed was that so much of paperwork all over the place. You understand? Somebody will say, no, I don't come with this me player registration, this in license card. Arguments back and forth and stuff. Then we get somebody at the board where they work with the INSAI, National Commission for Registration Authority, also Civil Registration Authority, I beg your pardon. We say this is something we can do. So we don't begin the engagement process there, and it's going to be huge. We actually say, look, the players where they come, then really will do biometric registration. So this whole thing about even this age thing, you understand? The person plays for team A, he's 18. He plays for team B, he's 23. He plays for team C, he's 22. For harmonizing things, then as I say, I was talking about the websites also. You understand?
So before we go to the website, money very much important. When we don't send in proposal to government as we stand now, we say with it.
Yeah. Government is yet to get back to us. Really, we they engage. We they engage. I'm always in the office of the Minister of Sports, and even 2 days ago I called him. Unfortunately, he's left the jurisdiction. So we still a push, and we know say. They've committed themselves to doing it, and we know they will do it, because I really remember the Minister of Finance, a few weeks ago in the Well of Parliament, he actually said they're going to support the Premier League Board. That was his pledge, and not only supporting the Premier League Board, but increasing the support to the Premier League Board this particular Premier League season. So that's what he said. And again, just like what I said, when we met with Hechi, again, a couple of weeks ago, he said that to us, you understand. He's a man who is very, very passionate about the game, and he said, look, I'll talk to my finance minister and see what we can do. So we are all ears, and we still try for talk and say, look, it has started now, and we need money to actually get it along, to the finish line. So that's the kind of thing we're doing.
Continue for the program, Mr. Kuma. Quickly, I'll come back to you. Ibrahim Kamara, Head of Marketing and Media from the Salon Football Association. Earlier, where you be the talk, you make both say the ordinary Congress way on all over the weekend na put local na be a success. Yeah. Apart from the other previous one, them the attempt to on be done they make for all Congress. Yeah. So with this successful Congress where you say on all na put local, everybody know, and you self agree say not to security issues been the na SLFA. Successful Congress don't happen. Football loving fans, then people who don't follow the activities of SLFA, you go really assured in this morning say with the outcome of waiting come on put local, when I don't really put everything beyond on back and on ready for work now and improve salon football.
From the parts of the Sierra Leone Football Association, yes, I would say so, because the executive committee led by Madam Aisha Yohansin always don't stand for the rules and regulations we bring the game together. The FIFA rules, the CAF rules, where we obliged to. They always stand for go in line or work in compliance with the FIFA rules. Now, this we always don't stand for. And in this Congress, the reason why I'm saying it was highly successful. Yes, there were arguments, debates, as usual now, just like it happened at Parliament, but then at the end of the day, they will agree at some point, But then, the outcome of the Congress, they actually show clearly, say, people are now ready to work in line or in compliance with the rules, basically, we bring together. For example, the issue about following the roadmap. FIFA, don't condone, and then they don't establish this roadmap. See, this is what is going to take you to an elective Congress. Follow it, A, B, C, D, the steps then they until you arrive at elective Congress. This has always been the roadmap they follow. But then each time we want to do that, it should come up. There's a set aside. They say this. Like I say, we don't done with this law long time.
Okay.
You understand? When the roadmap was established earlier on, it was only meant to take 3 to 4 months. But now it's taken up to 2 years. So now when people they say, Madam Asha, you want to don't overstay. You can't blame that on her. Because if you allow them for follow it inside the roadmap and arrive at elective Congress, if you're not done with this lolonte. But now it is as if, and according to what's happening inside Port Local, we are now ready to follow this roadmap. And then by April, we'll go to elective Congress. So this is why I said it was a success. So if the delegates, you understand, continue for comply in this line, and thank God a FIFA representative was there. FIFA sent somebody for can witness that Congress.
So now an assurance from the side of SLFA say we're not really ready for work and improve football.
Well, by we have always been ready. You understand? But the compliance from the part of, some of the delegates them, then we always don't be the problem. But it is as if I cannot mention the person in name, but one delegate clearly tell we say now be abort, now be responsible for abort the Congress now McKinney. So imagine somebody saying that. But now we don't let us come now together and see how we're going to arrive at elective Congress. So now make it say it is as if the delegates are now ready to come together in the interest of the country. And again, when you listen to Musa was there. We invited 98.1. Musa was there. When you listen to the minister in statements we make before the Congress starts, and the president of the FA, Madam Asha Yohansi, in statements we make, he lay and clearly say, gentlemen, this time around, let us, for the interest of this country, in the interest of the young boys, we don't decide for, say, football line of their career. Let us, for those reasons, you understand, put all of the differences aside and really work in compliance with what the rules say, and then we arrive at elective Congress. There and then, you not delegates, you understand, you get a voting right. If somebody you do what you want for vote for, then they go vote for. If you want to vote in favor of Madam Asha Yohansi for continue for the the aim of affairs, then that's fine. If you want to vote against them, then it's all up to you. But then let us don't disrupt, you understand, the process of complying with the rules until we arrive at elective Congress. But that Congress was a success, you understand, because I can clearly see that they are now ready. So if we continue in that line, then definitely sanity is sure to come.
So Ali, I ask you, what are some of the challenges them with the FA don't they get over the years then without a successful Congress, with this Congress don't solve?
If you listen to my response to this young lady, you go find out say the answer the inside day. Who say Khadija? You find out say the answer the inside day. We've always stood firm to work in compliance with the rules. But then you had some people who want things for go their way as opposed to following the rules. So this has always been the problem. Okay. But now in this Congress, it should clearly say we're not ready to work in line with waiting FIFA instructions, they say. And Article 13 of the SLFA statute clearly say at all times and unreservedly, we have the obligation to follow the directives, rules, and instructions of FIFA. So if FIFA don't say follow this, we can follow them as an SLFA, as an association, then you say no, we have to go your way. This has always been. But now it is as if we're all ready to follow and go in line with everything FIFA they ask you for do.
One of the focus of the Congress now for adopt the SLFA statutes. What are some of the provisions inside the statutes?
First of all, we don't talk about the adoption of the new district. Now, some of the new things and we don't come inside the statute. When they revise the statute, these are some of the new things. And obviously, another thing we're obliged for do, we know the FIFA Code of Ethics for adopter inside the SLFA statutes, and it's in there already. You understand?
But in this Congress, we're not being seen as church this section.
That's an obligation. That is an obligation. We have no option but to do that.
Why?
That is now make us say it's an instruction from FIFA. And according to Article 13, it says we have the obligation to do that. The statute does not say you may do that. If they say you may do that, that means whether you like or not. But this one, you have to do that. By all means, you have to do that. It's an obligation on us.
We look at other provision inside the statutes where now the integrity chairs. We will not see when I discuss this inside the Congress. It's very much important.
Now make I tell you, say it's an instruction. When you look at the FIFA roadmap, all waiting come from FIFA as an instruction. We cannot say no to it. You understand? The FIFA Code of Ethics clearly states all member associations across the world for adopter. In fact, you for just take her, you put her inside the statute. So it's not just for SLFA.
So it not be mean say it not necessary for discussion at the Congress.
No, the fact that it's up to the delegates to look at whether they should discuss it or not. You get what the issues already not discussed. So automatically, like there's this issue about suspension and things like that. If it's not discussed, that means unanimously they agree it should. So it's not for me.
So it means that it means that the reverse statute was adopted.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Because they not discuss them, right?
It was adopted.
Now we look at other thing again. We they talk about suspension and omission.
Yeah.
So what are the faith of the people and we then be done suspend before this Congress?
Okay, now I tell you say well it depends on the exact people that we they talk about. If now the one the way the executive committee suspend,
yes.
If they not discuss that particular matter, automatically they are supposed to come back. Now I tell you say it's up to them, the delegates. If they not discuss that issue it means they agree that this issue should be pushed away and let's move forward.
All right, continue.
You understand? For example, the Eastern Regional Chairman, it was suspended by the Executive Committee. So now that issue was never discussed at Congress. The Executive Committee of the FA don't agree for writing letter to them for bringing a comeback. You understand the point what I try to make?
So you are showing that all things we will not discuss, it is being agreed, we been at the agenda we will not discuss.
Exactly.
Okay. The program na Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. We'll go for the short break.
GhanaSongs.org. They causing confusion.
But this confused me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in Wall Solid. Look in block them where them beat for them, where they save solid. And at the same amount of cement and sand, then they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen. Me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind magic they behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement where are the use, and that's not Dangote 3X Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement na the highest grade cement in the country. When a 42.5 R grade cement, when no one day come na this country, and one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want your concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement na all the shop and building material store na the one whole country.
The program na Good Morning Salon, they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. The time from studio clock na 8:31, and we look at more issues them inside the program this morning. We take one power headline story them. Inside the Deputy Minister of Youth Affairs, Luceni Kalondon say the National Youth Policy where the Ministry of Youth Affairs and them partner them they review now go help address the plenty challenge them where it say young people they go through na the country. They talk this where the National Youth Service together with the Ministry of Youth Affairs go hand over 200 certificates to young people them we don't graduate from the youth service training. Chano Jallo been they part of this program and he gonna report.
Next, Abu Bakar Masako. Next, Hassana Tuba. Joseph Lamin Duwai. Next, Masire Liwotise.
Now, so the Deputy Minister of Youth Affairs, Luceni Kalombini Anuba, certificates them to 200 youths that will just graduate from the National Youth Service training. Will this become after we then 200 youths them here? Be undergo different internship training at different institutions them na the country. Who said the Deputy Minister of Youth Affairs, Luceni Kalon say the new direction government the work tranga one for promote youth business go before na salon.
The youth are our natural resources, the energy, skills, time that they can harness to support our national, social, economic and political development through volunteerism in communities can lead to great things. As our president rely on human capital development in building our country for prosperous future, these fine gentlemen and women have proven beyond reasonable doubt that they are reliable partners in that drive. The rest assured this government will do everything to get the best from the youth who have chosen to be partners in development. In such opportunities, the youth find a real chance to make a real difference in the life of their fellow citizens.
Luceni Kalon continues to say, for make the Ministry of Youth Affairs be able to address the too much challenge where youth them they go to the country, make the Ministry of Youth Affairs they now review the national youth policy. We go look inside young people and concern.
His Excellency Julius Madapio has mandated us to review the NYS Act to capture and reintegrate the rehabilitation of the street youth within the various communities. By so doing, the family unit will be strengthened and fortified, which will reduce the rate of lawlessness in the society. Only through national cohesion, nationalism, patriotism, Sierra Leone will have a united and sustainable development. The Youth in Agricultural Project, the Youth in Fishery Project, the Youth in Car Wash, including this one today.
Onana Jallo, the Deputy Executive Director for the National Youth Service, say one big challenge they be getting inside last year, and for deploy people in different institutions them where this is to challenge for this year.
This time we have 500 university graduates currently at the Peace Mission Training Center undergoing a 21-day orientation course. We believe we have learned so much, and therefore this time our forms were not sent by paper. We put them on a website for application. Another thing we have corrected is deployment. Last year we had people who were never deployed until after 3-4 months of their orientation. So let me also report to this august body that all 500 corps members in the camp already have institutions to be deployed.
As the process with the National Youth Service been go through, for take them people there, now while we plenty people been questioned, make Onana Jallo say the National Youth Service been sent from now all the districts them for make young people go apply.
But let me run you through the process of recruitment. We had papers sent to district council offices, people applied. We had 1,119 applicants and we just needed 200 university graduates to serve. It was not an easy task, but we took upon ourselves to invite technical people. The HRMO, they came to our aid in setting criteria as to how we are to employ 200 university graduates of a number of 1,119. We were all fortunate because of the kind of degrees we came with from your universities.
Onana Jallo end up say the National Youth Service will continue for work with the Ministry of Labour for ensure say more university graduates them benefit from this project any year.
Today we have 200 university graduates who served a whole year in different institutions. They've showcased their talents. They have believed in themselves. They will never now go to the days where we ask them for working experience and they cannot provide for you. And that is why we believe we are going to strengthen our collaboration with all allied ministries, the Ministry of Labour, Public Service Commission, and every other employing institution in this country. That for as long as an occasion of this nature exists, our people must be given the opportunity to serve their country as workers of this country.
I've been talking with some pandy graduates them, but what in themselves think? But this.
I feel so happy and accomplished because this is a dream come true to serve one's country. It is not an easy task, but I thank God for a day like this.
I am Miata Muriel Moriba, a visually impaired youth, a product of the National Youth Service who has just received a certificate today. After having gone through a rigorous training during my internship at the Ministry of Social Welfare, I feel so happy because this was what I was waiting for all this while. And so upon receiving this today, I feel very happy. I'm proud of it.
The people have been end up for tell plenty thank you to the Ministry of Youth Affairs and the National Youth Service for this opportunity they give to them. For the Society for the Democracy, me, Nachengo Jallo, the report.
That's na anthem for the Salon Premier League 2019-2020 season where the chairman design. Or chairman, tell me more about this anthem.
Firstly, I think I really get a very good media team. I mean, well, let us say, really, the board. The board has a very good media team and very competent people. And they're always coming up with ideas and just to see how we can make it better, because that's what I've always said to them, you understand, how can we make it better? So they came up with this idea and said, look, Chair, can we do this thing? You know, it's really good if we can do it. Just for spice things up. We see when teams the process, you know, from the dressing room for come onto the pitch, you know, we get this ball stand where they are free to pick, then we get the ball boys as, you know, the mascots and everything. So this is the tune we media team say we should be playing. So they did, and I think everybody don't listen and really don't applaud them for that.
I go come to you back. You don't shower plenty praise on your media team. We are not going to blame them anyway, but we not see that turnout. It's not the stadium to the and some people think say the publicity around the league not that much, but we come there and look at within a strategy for the media for ensure say it attracts plenty people going to the national stadium where we will see we reach that capacity or go beyond that. The program na Good Morning Salon where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. They continue to look at more issues inside the program. As the Southern Province Women Network ProNet don't they give support to women and girl picking them in different parts them in the country. We make the chairperson for this ProNet Gertrude Karimu don't say they don't give sanitary pad we cost 6 million loans to afford secondary school for girls and the St. Joseph Vocational School in Moyamba district. You know Kabiat get more and you're gonna reports.
Alright, we go try for bring the reports there the program. We continue with the program Good Morning Salon where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We still get Ibrahim Kamara, Head of Marketing and Media from the Salon Football Association, and Ali Vandi Kouma, we na the board chairman for the Salon Premier League board. We go back now studio and bring the report outside the Southern Women Network. We want for play earlier.
The Southern Province Women Network, where people they call SPONET, na organization where women them where come na different districts them na the south like Bo, Bond, Moyamba and Pujeru come together and form. Outside and they advocate for different things them where they affect women and girl picking them na the south like rape, teenage pregnancy, early married, violence against women and girl picking them, and different other one them na the southern region. As part of the 16 days of activism, we end Tuesday, December 10 this year, make SPONET go work na the Moyamba district, outside them go give different thing them to school them when na the Afford School for Girls and the St. Joseph Vocational School na Moyamba district. Tiange Gondo, na the vice chairperson for SPONET, talk more about this.
The main reason why I make we there now because we get 16 days of activism. We get for talk about gender-based violence, rape, this and that, all issues regarding to gender-based. We know say Moyamba, the statistics now are very high. So we use here as an entry point for start we activities there. Because we target, and we're going to 10 different schools within there. We get 2 schools for go today. We're going to talk to them about early marriage, about rape, about how to take care of themselves, early pregnancy, all those issues where they affect them, because we know say some of them things so one of them got here too much.
But why then choose Moyamba district? Gertrude Karimu, now the chairperson for SPONET, explain.
The census that we are having is that they have a higher percentage of teenage pregnancy as well as rape, and this is really causing problem within the community. So what we are here for is for us to advocate and raise awareness as well as sensitize the community people, the sensitize the kids as well as our women. At the end of the day, the buck stops with us. We need to be aware of certain things that are happening within the community. There is life in everything you do because you have to focus on your education. Education is the key to everything whatsoever in this world.
Gatru Karimu continue say they don't go give sanitary pads to teenage girls them. Now afford school for the girls and St. Joseph's Vocational Secondary School, where cost about 6 million loans. Where this is say na couple where then different women they are put together for help teenage girls na Moyamba districts.
The total cost of the reusable as well as the disposable is about 6 million. We actually came to the two schools.
Any organization where they can work for the ladies work with 100%.
Because on Monday, a judge will go see Piki, a go jump on. So on Monday, a go interfere with Piki no more, a pull hand commodity. We want people them for develop the human face of handling gacha. Even the woman them, a lot of them they suffer from the hands of we demand them.
But waiting are some of the things them where they teach them girl picking they are.
Philomena Yomkela, member of Spronet, who were educating the kids about the two different types of menstrual pads that they can use when they're on their menses. One is the disposable pads and the other one is the reusable pads. So we try to demonstrate to them how they can use, especially the reusable pads, because most of them we found out during our research, they can't afford to buy the disposable pads. And then they use cloths, sometimes dirty clothes, and they get infection. So we are trying to teach them how to use, I call it the refined reusable pads. It's also cloth wherein they will not get infected, and how to care for that reusable pads.
Tina Davis will be former deputy chair. Well, we brought in menstrual hygiene kits, not just giving them sanitary towels, but giving them information as well how to use and how to look after themselves. For those who haven't started, we talked about puberty with them. So we looked at menstrual hygiene, 3 aspects: the supplies, which is one, the environment, and the information.
Beginning from Afford School for the Girls and St. Joseph Vocational Secondary School, Moyamba District, where benefits from this support being gets this for sale.
My name is Josephine Natasha Bokai, Afford School for Girls, Moyamba. It's feel lively for me because some of us are here. We are not able to buy pads. We are not having that money. We are bringing some pads here to school, but it's finished at the end of the time. I'm very grateful to you guys. She have made me to learn to be using lime when I'm using my menstruation period, for me not to have bad odor.
My name is Sylvia Niava Campbell from the Afford School for Girls, Moyamba. They taught us about how we are to use pads and how to do menstrual hygiene. We need to be very careful in terms of taking care of ourselves while it's messing and the rest of it.
My name is Musutsuri, St. Joseph Vocational Secondary School, Moyamba. Mommy gave us 2 pads and other things. So as for me, I appreciate what Mommy done to us this afternoon.
My name is Elizabeth H. Lamboy, St. Joseph Vocational Secondary School, Moyamba. I learned how to take care of myself well when I'm on my menstrual period.
Then Pikia end up calling Sponet, so yet organizations them and people will come out the Moyamba district for make them not go to forget the district anytime we in camp and development business for girl picking them for the Society for Radio Democracy. You know, Kabia the reports.
The program you listen to na Good Morning Saloon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. 8:47 at the time from we studio clock. Una don't send una text message them inside the program, and a time for make we take them inside the program. Khadija. Okay, the very first one that they take inside the program say the outcome of SLFA Congress was successful. Advising stakeholders to put out differences aside for the benefit of the Mama Saloon football from Macton and New England.
More messages will don't come inside the program. This one they say our teams should now be thinking of having a board and also to provide an office as a secretariat.
This one says, Mr. Ibrahim, when the FA Cup will start and when the mandate of Aisha Johansson will end, from Step G.
This other one, when they come out from INSAI Marana Facebook page, they say, we have not been seen after match financial summaries like previously. That is to say, after every league match played, the organizing committee sent to the public the amount got from gate taking and its allocation by percentage-wise. For example, host team, away, and FA respectively. Also, there is absolutely less or no advertisements for the ongoing league matches presently. I believe this is something that should be very much paramount to the board and the clubs as it attracts the attention of more people.
This one says, Mr. Chairman, when are we going to see the websites from Jonathan na New Englandville?
More messages. We don't come na the program. This one they say, I and my team members hope that the proposed national youth policy will create bigger platform for fellow youth in Mama Salon. The youth need opportunities to display their talent. They come out from Hansels Bangura na Somalia.
This one on the SLFA Congress say no member of parliament on sports at the Congress. Why?
More messages. We don't come at the program this morning. This one they say, I think that the term this now we will team them for really play for show the different talents them we then get inside and team them.
Okay, the last one from me say we not been see the Secretary General na the Congress would have been 6 minutes.
Alright, well from then text messages then they come to studio guest them for let them go respond to the few messages them where we read inside the program. Would they start with you, Mr. Koma, as the board chairman for the Premier League board?
Yeah, well, some have already spoken about, but let I just reiterate some of the things I said. With regards to the websites, I had somebody asking, and I say the web developer be done, get it done, but like they say for register, the domain name was already, what we don't choose was already in existence, so they were trying to find a way, but they say they wait on AFCON, if I can quote on directly, and hopefully over the weekend we'll get the website up and running. And some of the persons say, and it really is a concern as to financial reports after matches and stuff. It's something we're going to do starting today. We're going to publish everything we've done. Initially, what we intended doing was we get the form, the templates that we don't form. So we want, instead of really writing narratives, you understand, we cite team A, team B, the board, then receive everything and sign, and we want the snap and really send to the public. But again, with the issues where people in the enter figures and here and there and stuff like this, so we still therefore get the one that we go do the counting of the proceeds after March distribution for actually understand how it works and stuff like that. But we don't get a comprehensive thing with the media team. Hopefully by the close of business today, go put out. The other one talk about match attendances and all that stuff like that. And the good thing he said was really not the team don't come for make the teams that actually be organized. You know, they get bored. You understand? They get offices, and that's what we're pushing for. Just look what they say. Football is a serious business. And
so under your leadership, people can go see that happen?
Well, again, we for make then things and they happen, it has to be the clubs should be willing. It's something we really, in fact, if you go to the Bamwe Declaration, which I've read extensively, the things that we then put there, you understand? Honestly, if we say we go by them things, and they're wonderful, we'll play football.
So how about
so
as
that's
a
kind
board
of thing.
making it a policy or a criteria for them?
With this, what I'm saying, there's already a document, you understand? We privy to what they call a Bamwe Declaration. If you see the Bamwe Declaration, you understand, we might as well postpone playing football for like 2 years for actually get them teams, and if you want to go strictly by them things, and so it's something where they say, look, and now they see the kind of people who they come into the game, you understand? Because again, when you bring certain people, then get the ideas, and they say, okay, this is how we should go, we should have a board, we should do this, you understand? And that's the kind of thing. And with regards to match attendances, and the person say the board and the team, of course, the person has been very, very fair. I must commend that person. Because this is the thing. And people, when they talk about the media team, you know, the publicity and everything and all, and so on and so forth. Football is a team game. I always don't say this. Perhaps let me say it here again. If the team not they score, it will be very unfair for you to blame the goalkeeper, say, but the team not they score. Equally, so if the team they concede goals, it will be very unfair for you actually blame the striker. Say, but the team they concede so much goals and stuff like that. We are in it together. It's not only about the board. It's also about the teams. And I did shy away for comment particular teams. FC Cologne and Bo Rangers then stand tall in that respect. People who don't know, go watch the game. The first kind of matches don't play like in a stadium now. We see the turnout with FC Cologne. Because what thing they do? They are doing robust marketing. Because people who understand they get proceeds. They are getting the lion's share. So if you know say no, if more people can at stadium they get more money. I mean, you get the owners who actually go there and what they do we own bits. As a board, I've been on Joseph Ibenda Kapua's bottom line. I don't think that AYV wake up, you know, when they host me this morning. I've been on Mercury Radio, I've been on Afri Radio, just as a chairman. Also, members of the media team have been on several radio stations. They propagate these things. Fixtures are out, you understand. And very sensitive people notice say we sign an MOU with Orange, and I will just bring that into view also because the purpose of that MOU really now for help publicize the game. So as we say, by the weekend we begin get bulk SMS. Of course, Orange gets some how is it called priority solutions. where they do very nice things, the flyers, the this and that. So it's something we're working on. But equally so, just to see the teams then also they get a responsibility for actually markets the games them.
All right, so they come back to you, Chairman, but IBK you also. But quickly, let's take this commercial break.
Here is a special public notice from the Office of the Commissioner General, NRA, on payment of tax arrears. The National Revenue Authority has commenced the collection and recovery of all arrears of taxes from all defaulting taxpayers due up to 31st December 2019 financial year. These include corporation, trade, profit taxes, pay as you earn PAYE tax, goods and services tax, GS from the Office of the Commissioner General, from the Office of the Commissioner General, NRA, on payment of tax arrears. The National Revenue Authority from the Office of the Commissioner General, NRA, on payment from the Office of the Commissioner General, NRA, on payment of tax arrears. The notice from the Office of the Commissioner General, NRA, on payment of tax arrears.
Radio Democracy, the true voice of the people.
Radio Democracy, supported by ASIWA and powered by Africell.
For news, views, and entertainment, stay tuned to Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1, simply the best.
Radio Democracy, the true voice of the people.
Radio Democracy, supported by ASIWA and powered by Africell.
For news, views, and entertainment, stay tuned to Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1, simply the best.
Radio Democracy, the true voice of the people.
Radio Democracy, supported by ASIWA and powered by Africell.
For news, views, and entertainment, stay tuned to Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1, simply the best.
Radio Democracy, the true voice of the people.
Radio Democracy, supported by ASIWA and powered by Africell.
No, this one is a special dedication. Wicked. To all the people of this nation. Real. All the lovers of Radio Democracy. All the lovers of Radio Land. The voice of the masses. Hear this. Come on. Come down, selector. Come down, selector. 98.1. The voice of the people. Radio Democracy. Radio Democracy. Radio Democracy. For news, views, and entertainment. Radio Democracy. Radio Democracy. Radio Democracy. For news, views, and entertainment. The true voice of the people. Radio D, to you there's no equal.
Second to none. Radio D, you're still number one.
You are the voice of the voiceless. You are the choice of the voiceless.
Real. Sure. Yeah.
Check it out. Check it. You did teach and preach, but good governance. You want to see we country advance. You not get party, stand for democracy. You give everybody a chance. 98.1. Radio Democracy.
Radio Democracy, the true voice of the people.
Radio Democracy, supported by ASIWA and powered by Africell.
Here is a special public notice from the Office of the Commissioner General, NRA, on payment of tax arrears. The National Revenue Authority has commenced the collection and recovery of all arrears of taxes from all defaulting taxpayers due up to 31st December 2019 financial year. These include corporation, trade, profit taxes, pay as you earn PAYE tax, goods and services tax, GST, payroll taxes due from foreign workers, withholding taxes, customs and excess duties, non-tax revenues, and any other payment due to the authority. The general public and all business houses are hereby advised to settle all tax and non-tax obligations with the authority immediately. Enforcement actions have begun. These include, but not limited to, sealing of business premises, auction of goods and assets, prevention from traveling in and out of Sierra Leone, prevention from clearing goods through the ports, third-party recovery, imprisonment, and court action. Be further reminded that all outstanding tax obligations are subject to interest and penalties from the due date to the date of payment, including cost of enforcement. Therefore, to avoid financial losses and disruption of business activities, you are advised to pay your taxes in any of our offices in Freetown and the provinces through any commercial bank in Sierra Leone. You have been warned by order of the Commissioner General.
We continue with the program. Good morning, Salon, and one for apologize for the break they will get earlier. We get power cut na Leicester Peak, but we don't count on back, and we continue with the program. Good morning, Salon. Quickly, we get studio guests them, and before we go for that break, the Aliu Van de Koma chairman for the Salon Premier League Board, they respond to text messages them. We've been coming at the program, and now they come to you, Ibrahim Kama, head of marketing and media for the Salon Football Association. Quickly, let you respond to the messages. Then.
Yeah, okay. I will just run through them real quick. Somebody asked about the FA Cup. FA Cup definitely, in fact, not just FA Cup, Division 1, Division 2, all of them, competitions that they get for take a center stage by next year. Next year being next month. And somebody they asked about when Madam Asha Johansson mandates they come to an end. Madam Asha Johansson mandates don't officially come to an end. And when that happened, he called a press conference for announce the fact that his mandates don't come to an end. But then we know say when somebody mandates come to an end, you have to go through elections before somebody else assume office. That was when FIFA came in and said, okay, let's have this roadmap, take us through to elections. But then because of that, they get a lot of issues set aside and all of that. We don't create this massive delay. So in April, we get elective Congress. From there, the delegates and they will decide who therefore take the mantle of leadership in terms of football and the country for the next 4 years again. Somebody asked about the parliament. No member of the parliamentary committee now witness the Congress. That is true, and then because we get issues now the secretariat with regards with secretary, the general secretary been sick, be admit basically because now he really charged with the responsibility for coming. In fact, I only call Congress, so we get issue, but we don't talk to them and they say we don't show understanding. We actually send a late invitation to them, but see the very day where the Congress hold now be on Saturday, and I've been cleaning day. You understand? So for let somebody come on after cleaning, we cleaning the end at 12. We all know. For travel from here, so it was actually difficult. So they sent a message that they couldn't make it because of time. However, in the subsequent congresses, we will expect for later witness. Yes, I just mentioned, somebody asked why this general secretary not been there. He was sick, he was admitted, and that was really serious, but he's getting better now though. And yes, in the event the general secretary not there, because somebody asked could that take minutes, in the event the general secretary not there, the regional secretaries automatically, you understand, take in, there was then step in into that capacity. So now then actually been take minutes, but we not just stop there. We also appoint one member of staff, the SLFA staff. We also been charged with the responsibility for take minutes. So people were there to take charge of that.
Quick one in 30 seconds. One of the major decisions now the Congress now for increase the teams for add 4 and the 14 teams and we go 18.
Yeah.
We get for seeding teams that can this season or next season then go come.
No, it will be next season. Time not there really because I want for extensively elaborate on this particular issue, but time not there. So I will just run through them real quick. Yes, 4 teams don't be added to the Premier League, but that will take effect this season. It will therefore be next season. That the executive committee of the Sierra Leone Football Association then push always now for ensure say we get 2 more teams added to the Premier League for make them 16. That was the earlier proposition from the executive committee. But then that led to some issues really doing a court and all of that, But now when we go to Congress, in fact, the former chairman of the PLB, when our lawyer Emmanuel Safar Abdullahi, go propose, as if we don't do even before now, say let we have 4 teams instead of 2, 4 teams added to the Premier League. And then inside the delegates them they agree, say let us have the 4 teams, but then the 2 teams they come up from the north, you understand, purely they come up from the north, and the other 2 teams, the west, south and the east, they battle for them. So that's how it is going to happen. But like I say, that addition will take effect this season. It will have to be inside the 2020-2021 Premier League season.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim Kamara, Head of Marketing and Media from the Salon Football Association. We come to the program this morning. Can give updates, but waiting come out na the ordinary Congress we na all na put local last weekend. And also thank you to Aliou Van de Koma, when the current board chairman for the Salon Premier League board. He be there this morning instead of the give update, but waiting the board don't do for ensure say they get a successful Premier League we begin December 4 this year. Well, now they end the program. Good morning, Salon, for this morning. Now, Michael Sambola and Alex Lawrence Coleman had produced the program. DJ Lava give it technical support. Samuel Humper and in team, now they make on watch we live on our Facebook page. So to meet back, Mina Khadija Bagua they say, have a blessed day.
And Musa Eskama, they say, don't forget for support EU Premier League clubs them as Saturday, Central Paris they play Diamond Stars, Anti-Drugs FC they play FC Johansen, and on Sunday we get forget Bull Rangers they play Arslav, and Mighty Blackpool go play Lions. We now been the champion, but now we see them the struggle, and the Cambo Eagles from the hills of Kenema they lead the Premier League table. So that's it. Mina Musa Eskama, they say bye bye.
Democracy 98.1 FM. Well, that's Nabi News and Current Affairs program. Good morning.